Hello, welcome to our new interview series on board with USA SUP. I've got my trusty sidekick with me, our VP, Ellison Smith. Hey, Ellison.
Hey Linda, I'm glad to be here. Who's on board with us today?
Today we're joined by Greg Wingo, race director for the epic endurance race, the Alabama 650, and this weekend's fourth annual Last Paddler Standing. Welcome, Greg. It's so nice to be able to catch up with you and learn a little bit more about this one-of-a-kind race.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you, Greg, for taking the time to join us. I'm really looking forward to talking to you today about Last Paddler Standing.
Yes. Greg, tell us about this race. It started in 2022 at Nathan Benderson Park in Sarasota, Florida, and remained in that location until last year, 2024. I understand that you've got a new location this year. Will you please tell us a little bit about the format of the race, what makes it so unique, and a little bit about the new location?
Sure. So, like you mentioned, we were in Sarasota the last 3 years at Nathan Benderson Park. And this year we're at Lake June and Winter, which is right outside Lake Placid, Florida. It's a public lake. It's a beautiful, beautiful lake. And the Lake Placid area is just a cute little town that has lots of little shops and different places to visit. And it was kind of my desire to take the race outside of a bigger city and put it into more of a smaller community. And I got really fortunate when I was looking around that one, I was able to find a lake that was the right size for this race, but also the Highlands County where the race is occurring is part of Visit Sebring, which is
Oh.
the Lake Placid, Sebring area that has multiple endurance races of different sports from around the world that come to this area. So it's really fortunate that we're getting to put Last Paddler Standing in this area and amongst these other great events that also occur in that area. And so, really excited to move it there for the fourth year and to be able to work with the Visit Sebring people to have it there. A little bit about the race. It is probably the weirdest, craziest paddleboard race in the world. It is modeled off of the backyard ultra in the trail running world. And in this race, racers will do a loop, a 3.33 mile loop on the hour, every hour, and they go until everybody quits but one person. And so it's a little bit of speed, a whole lot of endurance, a ton of suffering, a lot of sleep deprivation, not a lot of eating or drinking, and yeah, it's just a mad event, and I'm ready to have it here this weekend.
Wow, it sounds like it's going to be an incredible event. So, from what I understand, registration closed on November 12th, and you've got 34 paddlers registered, 25 men, 9 women, and you've got paddlers from all across the US, even one from Hawaii, and all of our USA SUP regions are represented except for the Northwest. So, come on, Northwest, let's see you in there next year. You've got 13 paddlers from Florida, which makes sense. But I also noticed you've got paddlers from Great Britain, Germany, Costa Rica, Canada, and Sweden.
It will be so fun to see such a varied field of paddlers and what survival tactics they employ. Can you tell us a little bit about the past front runners of the race and what you feel are some of the most challenging aspects of your event?
I think there's multiple aspects that are challenging. Probably the number one most difficult aspect is sleep deprivation for everybody that makes it into the second day. That is something that, you know, 99% of them are not used to dealing with because, most of our paddleboard races around the country and around the world are short distance speed races that are over in a matter of minutes or in a matter of maybe a couple of hours. And so Many of the racers are going to suffer as the result of not often having their opportunity to be in a competitive setting with sleep deprivation. Some of them are very experienced with that. People like Bobby Johnson, who's won Great Alabama 650, John Nippers, who has finished the 650 as well. Those are racers that are definitely used to that sleep deprivation factor. I would add additionally, probably that it's, again, most of the races around the country and around the world involve speed as the number one component. And that's not a factor in this race really until the 49th hour. And so it's difficult, I think, for a lot of racers to remember that they need to go out there and last for a long time. And it's easy to get sucked into the mentality of, I've got to go as hard as I can. And I think the first several loops every year, we have some racers that go out a little too hard and they suffer as a result of that. And so I think that is a factor that makes this race quite a bit different than any of the other paddleboard races that I know of around the world. And it's definitely something that a lot of times you don't get to really learn how to do it until you have to come do it, in that competitive setting.
Wow, that's amazing, Greg. I understand also that one of our wonderful board members and amazing race director of the Low Country Paddle Fest, John Batson, will be back again this year to battle against the clock. Do you have any advice for him and any advice for the other competitors?
Well, it's difficult to give John Batson advice. I mean, this is a person who is extremely experienced in racing. Um, he's got a bone to pick with the race because the race beat him last year. And so that was the first time that we didn't officially have a winner of the race. John was the last paddler in the race, but unfortunately, I was the winner of the race last year, and so I'm sure John's got a bone to pick with the race this year to be able to go stake his claim as the last paddler standing. Um, but again, he's probably one of maybe two or three that I just can't give a piece of advice to. He is that impressive as a racer. But in general, I would say the best advice I can give is, really have a plan for your off water time. And whether that's John or whether that's any of the other racers, it's critical that when you have anywhere from, let's say, 18 minutes to 3 minutes between, finishing one loop and the next loop, you need to have a really solid game plan about what you're going to do with that time off water because those minutes are critical to being able to last in this race. And most people bring crew with them for this race so that they have somebody off water to help them out to make sure that their food is ready or get them on a cot to sleep for 5 minutes or something like that. And so, but that's probably the most critical thing because once you're on the water, I mean, everybody paddles all the time. So that's the thing everybody knows pretty well. It's the off water stuff that you have to be really dialed in.
That's awesome.
Yes, it's so important to have that prepared, and you don't have much time, as you mentioned. Thank you for all the insightful knowledge that you've given us so far. One of the things that I love about Last Paddler Standing is that you can tune in from anywhere to follow along with the event and stay connected in the comment section. Will you have a live stream again this year? What other ways can people contact or stay connected with the race?
Yeah, so we will have a live broadcast again. It's one of the most watched broadcasts in the world for paddleboarding, actually. And, quite frankly, it's maybe more important than the race now for some people. And so we will have that. It will be on lastpaddlerstanding.com, which is the race website. There's a link there to take you to the YouTube channel where the live stream will occur, as well as you'll be able to see the live stream through some of the other media partners that we have connected to the race this year. So Sup Racer, Sup Junkie, Total Sup, and Sup Border will all be promoting the race on their social media pages as well, so that if you follow one of those, you're probably going to hear about the race and be able to go to the link to watch the live broadcast. We have Craig Sawyer, Sarah Thornley, Betsy Ray, all coming to commentate on the race, all three flying over from the UK to be commentators in the race this year, as well as Jamie Cohen from Florida, and Lindsay LeBlanc, who's racing the race, is on commentary whenever she finishes the race herself. So maybe we won't get her at all. She may be the last paddler standing and we won't even have her on commentary. But we've got a great team that are coming in to do that. And it's just a blast. For them, it's an endurance event as well, because they're trying to stay up as long as they can. And it can be pretty difficult on the commentators just as much as it is on the racers.
Thanks, Greg. We'll post links in the comments section so that they are easy to find. The race starts at 9 a.m. Eastern on Saturday, December 6th. Will there be any pre-event broadcasts? And also, what's the best time to tune in?
So the broadcast will start at 8:30 Eastern time, 30 minutes before the start of the race. I would encourage people to jump on right at that time. Our commentators will be full of energy leading up into the race 30 minutes later. It's a lot of fun to see the beginning and the first several hours, because most of the racers will last for a little while, 3, 4 hours, for, I would say, probably 95% of them. And it's just fun to see them all kind of going out on the loop and coming back in, and you can quickly figure out who's going to have a hard time and who is going to, make it 48 hours plus. So I would definitely encourage people to tune in at the very beginning. And then we get a lot of people that watch it nonstop for 55 hours straight. Um, I understand if that's not something that you want to do. And if you don't, I would just encourage you to leave it up as a tab on your computer, or if you're broadcasting it on your TV, just leave it up as an option and come back and forth and see what's happening, because it's going to be a broadcast nonstop as well. And so there's always a good time to check back in, both day and night. Check in and see what's going on. And we will probably have a winner sometime late morning on Monday, the 8th. I would ballpark that maybe the 50th or 51st hour of the race is probably when we will have a winner. So people tuning in late morning on Monday are probably going to see a lot of drama. Every year, the last lap is a ton of drama. So I would definitely, suggest that people tune in Monday as well.
That's good to know, Greg. Do you have any words of advice or encouragement for the racers this year?
I think that I would encourage everybody to go out there and just soak it up and enjoy the experience as much as possible. It is the only paddleboard race in the world in which it is encouraged that you go out and talk to the other racers while you're doing it, that you're not allowed to have music or anything like that, that we want there to be some camaraderie that occurs on the water during the race. And so my advice is, enjoy it, make a new friend while you're out there, get into a good conversation, allow the time to pass by faster, because you're meeting somebody new while you're out there on the water. We have racers from all over the world coming in to do this race. So, hopefully, people are going to make new friends in other countries. And I think that that's really important for the growth of our sport. We need more events that are drawing, international racers to the US, that are not for some international governing bodies event. It needs to be for things like this that are a little bit more grassroots and put on by those of us that truly know and love the sport. So, I would encourage them to make friends with people that are coming in from other countries as well.
That's great advice. Like make the SUP community bigger and global. And, I love that advice. What's the best way for racers to get in touch with you or your team if they have a question before the event?
I mean, I think probably the best way is to go on our Facebook page and send a message through there. We have a racer forum. It's called Last Paddlers Standing Racer Forum. That's a private group on Facebook, but I encourage anybody, if they want to get into an actual conversation, to ask to be a member of that, and we'll accept you in. And then you can, really start a dialogue on there. During the race itself, the chat feature on YouTube is going to be open. And it's actually every year people ask questions on the chat and they get responses from the commentators throughout the race. We're reading them throughout. And so we get lots of great, funny questions and things like that. And so I really encourage people during the race to open the chat feature on YouTube and directly talk to Betsy and Sarah and Craig and myself and anybody else that's sitting in on the broadcast.
Yeah. I've noticed that the chat is very lively on the live feed, and that's a pretty interesting focus also of your race. I just wanted to say that, we're all really proud of you for keeping this race going, along with the Alabama 650 and all of the planning and execution that's involved in putting on a race. It's no small task, not to mention the lack of sleep. So, but I also want to say that how appreciative all of us at USA SUP are for your support since year one. You're a founding member of USA SUP and you recently upgraded to a business membership level. So, big thanks to you and Robe Projects for that, for helping us grow our community and connect racers all across the US and across the globe, really. I wish you the best of luck, and I can't wait to see who the last paddler standing will be.
Well, thank you so much for saying that. I'm a big fan of USA SUP. I believe in what you're doing, and I am very bullish on this sport. I do not agree with the people that think the sport is either changing in a negative way or dying or whatever the latest negative thing that some people say is. I don't believe in that. I think this sport is very positively evolving. And I'm happy to be involved with you guys and everything that you're doing, and us hopefully together growing the sport in the country and as a result in more places around the world. So thank you for having me on, and I hope you'll watch this weekend.
Thank you, Greg, and thank you all for joining us today. Until next time.
We'll see you all soon. Thank you so much, Greg, and I cannot wait to see your event this weekend.